What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got the Jade Shadows update coming out in like a little bit under 2 weeks on all platforms. And in that update are some big status proc changes for the game. And I've got some early theory crafting for you. Well, I've actually had this strat in my back pocket for a while, but now they've officially announced the blast changes are going to be real, I'm going to unleash the new strats for you. So let's get into this early theory crafting. Before we do, though, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, theory crafting videos, build videos, news videos, discussion videos. You're in the right place for Warframe content with that like button and that sub button. Really appreciate all the support recently, guys. Alright, so the thing we're going over today is going to be blast proc changes, and what we've got right now is going to be the most recent information they've dropped. So, now, the exact numbers on this we'll know when it actually comes out, obviously, but right now this is what we got to go off of. So, blast procs. The changes made to these will be when you deal a blast status effect, the damage dealt will trigger a smaller secondary detonation following a delay. If you eliminate an enemy or reach X blast stacks, they'll detonate, dealing a percentage of the summed up damage on an AoE range. So you can only pull so much from that, but what it had me thinking of a while ago is actually going to be melee influence with blast procs. Because the way Melee Influence Arcane works is it will spread status procs to nearby enemies. So on Melee Electric status effect, 20% chance for Elemental Melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds. So what we've got here is we've got a Blast Electric build on our Nami solo. Why would you do that? Well, you have to have Electric procs to proc Melee Influence, which will spread your Elemental procs. Technically, there's ways to do it without electric on here, but we're going to just do it. We're going to make it where other outside sources are limited for this. So we've got electric blast. So what that's going to do is we're going to have our electric doing DOT. We're going to have our blast making delayed detonation explosions, and we'll be getting so many kills with this that we'll be enemies will be exploding everywhere. There'll be lightning procs and explosion procs everywhere, and it's just going to be corpses all over the place. So. Got the Nami Solo Incarnon. Why do we have the Nami Solo Incarnon? Well, first off, I don't really use the Nami Solo Incarnon that much, so I want to give it a shot. But mainly, it's going to be the massive range this thing provides and the good status chance. So when Incarnon form the Nami Solo, we'll be getting 3 extra years of range. We've also got the we've got the Lone Blade here with melee weapon equip, increased fall off by 60%. You know, that's going to be probably the best one on there because you're going to get full damage on these enemies. And we also got easy attack speed here. Mainly going to be the status chance. So we're going to have, like, 10 meters of range-ish with this. And since we got that fall-off increase, almost every enemy is taking a lot more damage than a normal melee weapon would be providing. So we're on Nourish Rhino right now. I can show this with Saren. It works with Saren, of course, but we're just going to show it with Rhino right now. So we get some procs on them. And you will see, once we have the electric proc, that is, that the blast procs are going to be in a big AoE. So all these enemies would be exploding, basically, on the future patch. Not to mention they'd be taking these shock procs, which would make them, once they're, softened up, they'll explode for even more damage. Now, as far as the accumulated damage, as they put it in their words, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to mean, but I do think that Blast Electric Melee Influence might be a new way to play the game quite well. I mean, you can just kill them outright with just, the electric procs on the current patch. So imagine on the future patch where these enemies are exploding and doing a guaranteed stagger or I mean, look at them all. Look, they all have blast procs on them. Now that guy's got 10. So this enemy would have already detonated on the future patch. So you're looking at a potential new AoE meta right here. Let's get into some mission gameplay. And because of course there are some problems with this. My Riven is electric damage, so I have a very high electric weighting. First time I've ever said this in Warframe. Your blast weighting might matter. I've got 1,700 blast damage. I've got 2,400 electric damage, and I've got 1,000 slash. So if you're looking for a Riven for this thing, you might want to get minus slash, actually, because melee influence does not spread the status procs of impact puncture slash. It only spreads elemental status procs. And as far as our weighting here, we are most likely to proc an electric proc, which is good, but we don't need too many electric procs. So if the blast weighting is a little bit higher, I'd probably be happier about that. And also, see how high the slash weighting is, 21%. If you had a minus slash Riven, you would definitely increase your blast and electric weighting, which is the only thing you really care about on this build. So yeah, not a God Roll Riven, but it's still a good Riven nonetheless. Let's get into some mission gameplay, because, I mean, we're basically theory crafting before the update comes out. So this is only, like, it's only going to do so much. Like, we're talking about, like, what would be good. Right now, it's not good. What I'm showing you is not good right now. Blast procs currently give enemies reduced accuracy, and after this patch, they'll explode on death and do, like, delayed explosions. So with that accumulated damage, the way they worded it, let's go over what they worded here. It will trigger a secondary detonation following a delay. If you eliminate the enemy or reach X blast X, they'll detonate the percentage of the summed up damage. The summed up damage. What could the summed up damage mean? If it means, like, damage that they have on them, like if every electric proc would be, like, accumulated and all that, Blast Electric would be more meta because they have all these DOT procs on them. I got Viral on them too with Nourish. They are going to be, they're going to be primed to explode. And they're going to explode with electricity in an area. They're also going to explode with that Viral proc too, doing a bunch of, increased damage. So I'm thinking that we're onto something here for sure. It doesn't have to be the Nami solo. You could do this on, like, the dual Ichor, I guess. Actually, would it work on the dual Ichor? You might have to do Corrosive Blast on the dual Ichor and find electric proc somewhere else. But either way, yeah. Blast Electric is a elemental combo to look out for in this new update, and you heard it here first. I doubt anyone else is really talking about this in depth. But yeah, Nami Solo, one of the reasons why it's so good, it has such good range, the increased follow-through with the Incarnon upgrade, and great status chance. Now, as far as things that scale melee influence, you don't really need crit on this. I've got melee damage. The main thing you really need is just to make sure you can proc the elementals you want. That's why I was kind of annoyed that I have so much electric on here, because we only need like 1 or 2 electric procs. Now, the electric procs do give us a lot of extra damage. That is, like, actually where a lot of our melee influence damage is coming from, transferring Viral and transferring electric and blast enemies. Like, I'm just looking for, this will be one of the first things I test in the update for sure. Melee influence with blast electric. And again, like, you don't even need to be on Saren. I know Saren is like a go-to for melee influence, but right here, we're on Rhino right now. And Rhino can definitely blow some stuff up. I have not played Rhino for a really long time until the other day. I played him in a solo Elite Archimedean. Dude, Rhino is actually quite good, so I've been enjoying playing Rhino a lot here. So I think he'll be a great frame for melee influence. He already is a great frame for melee influence. And going forward, these blast procs will be something to look out for. As far as other weapons that use the blast procs, I've got some other things too, like such as I've got a heat. Now this is my second Glaxian. I've got 2 Glaxians. One the magnetic one, the main one is the magnetic Glaxian. I've got a second Glaxian, a heat Glaxian, that will be for easy Corrosive Blast. Corrosive Blast might be pretty nice. You could do Corrosive Blast on melee influence, but again, you'll have to find a way to shock proc things from another source. So if you know how to do those, go for it. But yeah, mainly, you're going to be doing Blast Electric. If you want to do Blast, you can do Blast Toxin technically too, but again, that's not going to proc melee influence because you have to have Electric to proc melee influence in the first place. So hope you guys found this theory crafting video fun and helpful. I do think that we're onto something here, and you'll be able to test out these changes on June 18th on all platforms. You've made it this far in the video. I also have an announcement. I am an official co-streamer of the Game Awards summer event on Friday, and there will be a free Ember Twitch drop. So come on, stop at the live stream channel if you want to get a free Ember Normal. If you already have Ember Normal, you just delete this one for the frame slot, honestly. So see you guys next time. Appreciate the support and take it easy. Peace.